Hey, Shaylin.
Hey, Lucretia. Hey, Shaylin.
Hey, Vincent. How are you?
I'm good. And yourself?
Doing well, doing well. I want to make sure I get a good picture. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, you can see. Too bad you can't see my shirt. Sorry.
No problem.
Oh, goodness. So you just gonna let us go for it, huh?
Yes, ma'am. Whenever I open it up to everyone, I'll just introduce yourself and Monique, and just y'all give y'all's titles. And then if y'all want to do a further introduction of yourselves before y'all get into it, that'll be perfectly fine. And then around, you want me to cut you guys off around like 6:30, 6:35, and then we open
Yeah,
it up.
somewhere around there so we can open it up for questions. I'll try to
Okay.
pay attention to my phone, but it'd be nice if you kind of give like a 2 minute, like you guys got 2 minutes to wrap this up.
Right. Yeah, I'll come in and I'll do a 2-minute warning for y'all.
Okay. All right. Cool beans. So is this kind of going like you expected?
Yes, ma'am. The first one I think went really well.
It
Didn't
did.
have as much people as I had anticipated, but I think this session should hopefully have equal or higher numbers, um, and then hopefully maybe even higher the final session.
Yeah. I think it's gonna culminate really well. So hopefully we can get some people interested in the program.
Yes, ma'am. And then we have an online platform called Dallas City of Learning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a whole website. It's dallascityoflearning.org, and it has all links to all of our partner organizations within the community that are affiliated with Big Thought in any way. So I'm gonna work with I can't think of his name. It's been 3.5 months and I haven't seen him. But this gentleman who's in charge of the whole platform, and I can put in a request to get y'all included on our platform. That way,
Okay.
anyone that's within the Big Thought community can click on the road lending, learn more about it, and then gain access to y'all services.
Oh, sounds like a plan. Okay. And I'm sure Shaylin or Jose will be glad to do a presentation, for
Okay.
you guys up there since, that's their region. But we do work together, like on this, we're working together.
Yes, ma'am.
It's cool. Have you heard of the Heal America tour?
No, ma'am.
It's also coming on tonight. It's a bishop in Dallas is
hmm
doing this thing called Heal America tour. And it's going to be actually from 6 to 8. I'm going to hop on after we finish this and kind of hear what they're talking about. But it's talking, about the things that are going on right now, like with George Floyd and Aubrey Martin, all those people, that's what it's centered around. So,
Okay. Yeah, I might be able to check that out. There's also a thing that our CEO is doing with a nonprofit here in Dallas, where he talks about issues within the community and specifically within the youth within our community and what we're doing as an
oh,
organization, to help, especially with the racial equity,
yeah,
talks and the police brutality and stuff like that we're trying to address within our own
right,
organization.
right. That's pretty cool. Hmm. And you guys have been around for how long?
30 years.
30. Wow. Yeah, that's not chump change there.
Oh, no, no, no.
Yeah.
It's about
Pretty
6. I'm
cool.
going to start admitting people. There's one in the waiting room right now, and
Okay.
I'll just admit them. Still waiting on Monique as well.
All right. Let me go get me some water.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Vincent Coronado, and I work with Big Thought. And I've had the privilege of putting this virtual workshop series together with On the Road Lending and their partners. So I'm going to introduce Miss Monique Winfree, who is the Workplace Solutions Officer with BBVA Bank, and also Miss Lucretia Jelks, who is the South Texas Regional Director for On the Road Lending. So Miss Monique and Miss Lucretia are going to walk you guys through the informational session that we have this evening. We're going to let them run for about 30 to 35 minutes. And if you could please hold all your questions to the end, we'll give y'all some time to open up and answer any questions that our audience may have. All right, so Monique and Lucretia, y'all take it away.
All right. Well, thank you, Vincent. Hello, Monique. Nice to be with you tonight. Yes, and thank you, everybody, for joining us. Hopefully, more will be joining us as we go forward. This meeting tonight hopefully will give you all some information, as well as hopefully dispel the myths that On the Road Lending, which is a nonprofit and a for-profit banker, because Monique is with BBVA, that we work together to achieve a common goal, and that is to hopefully change the quality of the lives of our clients by providing A1 customer service and also affordable and reliable loans. Hopefully, if we are able to give a loan to someone, that the bank can come along and help them to go to another level, because On the Road Lending is what we call the first step. Just to kind of give you some background history, we are a nonprofit, as I said before. And so what we do is we provide loans to people that other entities would take advantage of them, so to speak. There are some predatory lenders out there. I'm not saying that banks are, but there are some other lenders out there that are, who will take your money and don't care that your car is going to be repossessed in the next 6 to 12 months because you really can't afford it, okay? So what we do is we make sure that you can afford a loan. So Monique and I will be kind of having a little fireside chat, just talking about what each of us do, her in the banking realm and me in the nonprofit world, and how we actually want our clients to use us if they have credit issues as the first step to get into mainstream banking, get back into where they can actually control what interest rate they get or do not get. So the problem with the most of the clients that we work with is that they have low credit scores. Most of the clients that we work with are in the subprime or deep subprime arena, which means that they have credit scores as low as 300. And that is what we call deep subprime. And I'm sure Monique would agree that deep subprime, most likely a bank would not service that, because they work in a certain realm. But that does not mean that you cannot go through us. So I'm gonna back it up a little bit, because I kind of jumped the horse, and let Monique kind of introduce you herself and tell you who she is and what she does, and then we're gonna dive deep. How about that? Go ahead,
Well, love it. Thank you both, Vincent and Lucretia, and I appreciate the opportunity just to speak to the audience that's on today. And it was a great introduction, so I appreciate it. Everybody looks amazing. Even if you just have a picture of a silhouette, that silhouette looks amazing, y'all. Good job. You did awesome. But if you can come on the camera and wave to us, I'd appreciate to say hi, because I do want to be somewhat interactive when we are talking about this, because for you to know how to learn what we do, learn about credit, learn about the scores. But again, this is just going to be an informal chat. There'll be sessions that we'll do together that will be a little more in depth, where we can talk about things about budgeting and how to really start to save money. But she touched on some really good things, Miss Lucretia. She talked about us as a community coming together to help you from a genuine place. There are going to be predatory practices everywhere.
Right.
It's really predatory if you are not informed. So that's what makes it predatory. If you are informed and you're taking courses like these that are going to be courses we're offering to the community just for pure education, we have services that we can offer you, But the goal is to educate you so you're not taken advantage of and you understand the lingo that Miss Lucretia and I understand when we're talking to our customers. So that's really what I hope you understand from this today. I'll share my contact information with you in the chat. I don't have my card, so I have some issues with Zoom sometimes, so I just want to make sure I'm going to give you my info. And again, I'll put that in the chat box for you once we end. But let me double check real quick. Lucretia, how long do I have on speaking? And do you have a presentation up that you're showing, or I'm just speaking?
No, we're actually just talking. What we're doing is showing them what On the Road requires. And then like one of the things that we talk about, we're going to talk about credit scoring, how On the Road looks at it, and then how a banker would look at it. And because most of the clients that we work with have an average score of like 525, right? And so what we look at ourselves as is that we're preparing them for the bank. We're trying to reach the unbanked, because one thing that we require is that our clients have a bank account, because that shows us how they're spending their money. So you being a banker can make it plain, okay, how do I get a bank account? Because sometimes people don't understand that. And I must make this disclaimer, because On the Road lending is not just pushing BBVA, although we love you, okay?
Absolutely.
Banks, okay? Monique just happens to be one of our partners, but we're pushing a bank, because you may not live near a BBVA. You might live near Chase or Wells or anything like that, but we are pushing banking, period. So it may be a credit union that you may be a part of. It may be a bank that you may be a part of. But those are ways that we can see how you're spending your money, because one of the things that we do not base our loans on is credit scores, okay?
Okay.
We'll base their loan on the credit score. Am I right, Monique?
Yep, you're right.
So where you may have a credit score that's deep subprime, you may have a 425 score. The bank, because of how they do their business, may not accept your application because of that. But On the Road will. But what we want to do is prepare you to go to the bank. So
I love it.
We're the first step, because we're going to report your payments to Experian and to Equifax. We're working on TransUnion so that you can help build your score. So you're not just making payments to make payments. You're actually making payments to build your credit history. And that's where it's going to come in handy, is when you get to the bank. Because we have one credit score. So let me back up, because I get to go on and boy, I get ahead of myself. So let me back up to the requirement of no credit score. On the Road lending says it doesn't matter to us if your score is 300 or 800, because we do not base our loans on your credit score. We do what is called character-based lending. So it doesn't matter to us if you've had some repossessions, you've had some late pays, you've had some charge-offs. We do pull credit because we are a lender. But we're looking at your credit card, your credit report, to see if you have any bankruptcies, if you're late on student loans, if you're defaulted, or if you're defaulted on child support. Those are some things that we're looking at when we look at your credit report. So that's how we are. That differentiates us from mainstream banking. But I would like you to speak to that just a little bit, Monique, about how you guys would view it. Because if you start with us with a low score or no score, we're hoping to build you up to be able to go and see Monique or any other banker, okay? So Monique, how do you guys view credit, and how can our clients align themselves to actually be one of your clients?
I love it. Yes, so great. Let me tell you guys first. I'm gonna give you a little bit of background about me. So I've been in banking. I know I look very young. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, but I've been in banking for about 25 years. So this is just what I do. I've worked at multiple banks. So I'm going to encourage you today in just finance. It's super important that you understand how finances work. So what I can offer you will come a little bit later. Let's talk about what we look for as a bank. So we hear what On the Road lending looks for. For us as a bank, I'll tell you my own testimonial. When I started at BBVA a couple years ago, I had lost a job. So a lot of us are in situations right now where we're in between our finances. We may have a 401k saved up, We may have money saved up, but you know, your credit score can also affect where you work if you have to take a job. So the first thing I did was have a little bit of worry because, you know, when you lose your job, you sometimes let bills go. And guys, on this call, we're going to keep it 1,000. I like to talk about what I did to encourage you, because everybody walk away today encouraged. That's the whole goal. You need to be encouraged. So in a job loss, I had a very low credit score of 450, 450, once everything was all said and done. I was able to take my own advice from what BBVA has taught me through the programs that they've taught me and what I teach throughout the communities through financial literacy. I was able to move my credit score, pay off a ton of debt just by understanding a budgeting plan and how to save. So that's what I like to make sure I teach you, is that you have to know where you're at. You can't look at where anybody else is at. You can't look at where people are on vacation on Facebook. You can't look at what your friends have going on. You have to look at where your situation is at and learn how to budget your money where you're at. So I all that to say, a lot of times you think you know what your credit score is. You guys have probably seen, there's a meme out there where the girl's kind of looking at her credit score and it doesn't match what Credit Karma says. Well, there's a reason for that, because Credit Karma is only going to tell one part of the story. What a lender is looking for, so myself, a lender, a Bank of America, a Wells Fargo, a Chase Bank, we're all going to be looking for a minimum of 3 open trade lines. So 3 open trade lines being paid time for a minimum of 2 years. Okay, 3 open trade lines. So what are trade lines? A lot of people say, well, I pay my cable bill, I pay my cell phone bill, I pay, you know, I put gas in my car, I do all these things, I have my debit card, or I do everything in cash. That's the mentality you're going to have to come out of, because this is not just a cash society. You need to build credit. So when you say I pay cash for everything, you're saying if I need to buy a house tomorrow, I'm paying cash for that. If I need to go buy a car tomorrow, I'm paying cash for that. When the reality is you're not. So you need to understand, when you have 3 open trade lines, those are interest-bearing lines that you're paying, something that you're paying interest back on. So a cell phone bill is not going to count as an open trade line, but a secured credit card, maybe a very low credit card that you have of $300, or the on-the-road lending loan that you may do, that's going to count as an open trade line. So what that means is those open trade lines have to be paid on time every single month for the minimum of 2 years. So if you get to a point where you say, you know, I haven't paid some of those things, or I've had some of those bills, I maybe have a 6-year car note and I've paid bad a couple of years on those. Guys, that's still history. I want to tell you something about history and how important history is to credit. So when you calculate a credit score, there's several components to that. So I'm going to give you some of those components. So hopefully you guys bought pen and paper. If we were in a room together, I tell y'all I'm a little more militant. I would have had pens and little cute BBVA notepads and all that. So if you'd like to get some of those things, I do have some of those trinkets in my house. So if you're actually participating today, if you'd like to send me a inbox or send me a message, I might be able to send something out to you. Okay, that was my plug. So when we calculate a credit score, 30% of your credit score is going to be on the amounts that are owed. So how much credit do you have out there that you're paying back? That's 30% of your score. Once you're making those payments, are you paying those things back? The amounts owed are 30% of your credit score. 35% of your credit score is your payment history. So you may have bad loans on there that you may have paid late, but if they're long-term loans, they still stand for something. So you just need to make sure you're making your payments. If you've fallen off on something and you still have a contractual obligation, you still need to fulfill that. So that means if they come and they repossess your car, you need to fight to get that car back, because you still need to finish that contractual debt. That's a whole nother conversation we get into. 15% of a credit score is the length of credit history, the length. So remember, I said for us as a bank, we're looking at a minimum of 2 years. I want to say Bank of America is a minimum of 3. I think Bank of America and Wells and Chase may be a minimum of 3 years. If you have a small business, if you own a small business, we're looking at a minimum of 2 years in business with documented tax returns of $250,000 or more of revenue for the year.
Wow.
So those are things that I make sure that you know, because it's important for you to be able to build a history. A history is so important, and you can't build history with cash. Just want to throw that out. New credit is 10% of your score. So you need to be able to show that you can get new credit. Types of credit is the last 10%. So I just broke down the whole whole credit score and how it's calculated for you to understand that there's more ways there's so many moving targets in the credit score that you need to either talk to somebody in finances, or you need to start with a company like On the Road, because they're going to get you on the right path to get to a bank. But if you may have questions, sometimes you don't even know where you're at in your credit score. So this is where I want to encourage you. Don't assume. Don't make any assumptions.
Right.
Closed mouths do not get fed. If you have questions about your credit, if there's a need that you have, if there's somebody that you trust at your financial institution, by all means, you should feel confident enough to go in and ask those questions. If you're not confident enough, if the situation may be something that you want to share, or maybe for COVID reasons, you're not comfortable going out, look for opportunities to talk virtually, or again, I'll leave my contact information, reach out to me. I am a mobile banker. I really work from my home, so I'm able to talk to you after hours if needed, within reason, because I get my rest. But I'm able to answer questions for you that you may not feel comfortable asking somewhere else. So I really hope that part of it makes sense, because you've got to understand how your credit score works, and you've got to understand what we're actually looking for. Now, encouraging comes in when I'm telling you, when you go into a bank, ask for don't worry so much about your score. Let the bank tell you a no. The worst thing I'm going to say to you is no. And no is not a permanent no. The no is not etched in stone. The no really means not right now. That's it. It just means not right now. And that's okay, because you are not ready right now. We don't want to place you in any financial obligation that you're not ready for. Why would you want to add additional stress if you're just not ready for it? So that means we got to give you the steps to get ready. That's it. So you can go into a BBVA bank, and we do something at BBVA called a credit tailor. And that is where we will do a soft pull to your credit, and that will not affect your score. And we will tell you, based on where you are right now today, how much you will qualify for either a credit card or a personal loan with us at BBVA. And that personal loan is a no collateral loan. Now, again, we go anywhere from 5% up to 30%. So that means we're going to work with a wide range of credit scores, but there's still criteria that you have to meet. So again, let me encourage you, go into any financial institution if you have questions, but before you do, if you have something working out with Lucretia, please make sure you talk to them, follow whatever processes or steps that are placed out for you, but that means you have to have a plan. And in order to get a plan, the very first step to budgeting and having a plan in anything you do in life, the first step to that is organization. So in order to go into On the Road lending, you're going to probably have to have some things in order. And in order for you to come into BBVA, you're going to have some things in order. So make sure you have your driver's license, your valid ID. Those things are important. I don't care if you got a suspended license, go get an ID. It's possible to do. Please do, because you need those things to be able to travel, open a bank account, or to be able to get financial loans. Those are requirements. So again, I want to make sure I don't take up too much time, because just like Lucretia, I mean, this could be our show. We can talk. I can go there because I'm really passionate about helping you because I helped myself. And when I help myself and I can see the change that it does in me and also in my family, in my kids, I want to make sure I share that. So if there was something that you learned really quickly, and if there's more time and things I can come back to, I definitely will. If you guys have certain questions, we can open it up for questions too. But if there's that we can help with, this is the time for us to really get the ball rolling. So I'm a breather.
Thank you, Monique. And I appreciate you kept saying one word over and over again that I really want to beam in on, and that's budget. Because that is what On the Road bases our loans on your budget. Unfortunately, sometimes we have to say no as well, because we're not going to put you in a vehicle that you cannot afford. So what we're looking for is to see that you can afford a car note, insurance, and gas. We try very hard to make sure your car notes are between $250 and $350. So we want to make sure that your budget can afford that. Talking about getting all your ducks in a row. We're going to help you to get those ducks in a row. You have to work with a financial coach when you come to us. And the financial coach will do, can you afford to pay for a car, insurance, and gas? We figure all that into your budget. We do what is called character-based lending. So someone would say, well, why do you need to look at my bank statements? We look at your bank statements because we need 2 bank statements because we want to see what are your spending habits. Are you going down to Louisiana? Are you online? You know what I'm saying? Gambling. I might as well just put it out there. That may be a habit that's taking money away that could go toward a vehicle.
Tell it.
So if you, even if you're in a, sometimes people have a negative at the end of the month. To us, we look at that a little differently because some people come to us having to use, what's the car people? You know, you drive the car, the cabs or Lyft or Uber.
Yeah.
That's the only way people have to get to work, and that puts them in a position where they have their accounts are being overdrawn. So what we'll do is we'll look at that and we'll pull those things out of the budget and do it and say, oh, they can afford a car, but because they're having to pay $400 or $500 a month just for Uber and Lyft, oh my God. So we kind of help them to balance that out to see how that's going to work. We don't just off the bat say, oh, I'm sorry, but you're in a negative, so we can't work with you. We look at the real story behind it. We work with banks because we want banks to understand that we're working with you. I have bankers that they will send me clients because they can't help them. I have one credit union who he is watching his clients' credit scores. Every 6 months, he's checking. And once the score goes up, he will refinance their loans based on the fact that they've been paying us on time, okay? So we want to get the unbanked banked. We want to make sure that people are paying their notes on time. We do work with you because we want you to understand that vehicle ownership is a need. It is not just a want. Now, based on that, you may want the yellow Camaro or the Bumblebee with the mag wheels and a sunroof top, but your budget may not say that. Your budget may say Corolla, okay? So I just want you to know we're not gonna put you in a vehicle that you cannot afford. And one great thing is we will find the vehicle for you within your price range. So everybody's loan amount is different. It's all different, it's not the same. So Monique, when we look at someone's budget, and you mentioned this, we're trying to make sure that they can afford that. Do you all actually go over a budget with your clients or no?
We do not,
Okay.
but I do.
Okay.
So even though they may not, that's why I put my contact information. So let me tell you about what I do. I'm going to give you some steps right quick, really fast, just 5 minutes. Because this is really what you need to do to start your own budget when you get off this call. This is what I teach. it's a lot more to it, but again, just real quick, 5 steps. I told you step 1 already. If anybody remembers step 1, can you just type it in the comments real quick? Because I know I said step 1, and I put my finger up and I said 1. It was, so somebody give me a comment. Let's see, anybody? Let's see if they were paying attention. It's not looking positive, y'all.
That's all right. Give them a break. They might have been so enthused with what you were saying. So remind them.
That's a good comeback, Lucretia. That was good. That was what it was. Step 1, get organized. Please get organized. Step 2, know your income. Please know your income. So that's how much money you bring in after taxes each month from your paycheck, Social Security, or anything else you bring in. Alimony, child support. Know your income. The third thing is know your expenses. How much money do you spend each month and on what? That's what she's asking you for. How much money do you spend and on what each month? Make sure you have a savings. That's step 4. And people say, I can't save. So let me tell you, if you had Starbucks today and you can't save,
you can save.
if you want that Camaro, that means save. But okay, that's step 4. And then step 5 is how much money do you actually owe out to your creditors? You've got to make sure you know all those things when you're sitting down to build out your budget. So that's really, really, really important, because she's talking really about when you do come in and you're looking for that financing. Again, that number 1 step is having all those financial documents organized and ready to go. So when they're asking for something, you're able to present and build a case from it. If there's something that happened, you need to be able to talk about what happened and how you were able to rebuild. All those things are super important.
And you know what? I didn't say it, but I will say it now. The minimum household requirement for on the road is only $1,500 a month. That is not a lot, but you would be surprised, Monique, at how many people that we talk to who do not have $1,500 a month coming in after taxes. So if you start with us at that, hopefully through car ownership, you're going to see an increase in your income to where 2 to 3 years in the loan, you can go to Monique or go to Bank of America or go to Chase or Wells Fargo and say, hey, I want to refinance this car, or I want to trade this in and get the car that I really want because I'm making more money now. And my credit score has gone up. That's what this is all about, helping you to build wealth. And car ownership is helping you to build wealth, because through that budget, but let me tell you something, a budget is not a one-time thing. Every month you should be doing that budget, because things happen, things change. You're hopefully paying off debt. So every month your budget and I do my budget to where I'm zeroed out. I assign my money something to do every month to where when I finish my budget, it's at 0. But I have to sometimes go back in, because guess what? Life happens and I have to redo my budget to make room for that unexpected thing, okay? She talked about savings being one of the steps. We require a down payment. So it's great when people come to us who already have a savings. We look for that down payment to be about 5% of the loan amount, okay? Which could be anywhere from $800 to $1,200 a month. I mean, not a month, $1,200 down, sorry about that. And it just depends on the type of vehicle that you choose as to what that amount is going to be, okay? Now, if you want to put more down, that's even better. If you want to put $2,000 or $3,000 down, woohoo! I mean, that just takes down the loan amount and you'll pay it off even quicker. And we do not have a prepayment penalty on our vehicles as well. So you get started with us and we teach you how, because you have to take a financial literacy class with us as well. And we'll teach you how to get yourselves ready for mainstream banking. When it comes to mainstream banking, I know through Bank On, there are some accounts, and I know you're familiar with Bank On, Monique, where they have accounts that do not charge overdraft fees and things like that. Does BBVA have one? Are they participating in that? I think you guys are. Do you have bank accounts that don't have overdraft fees on them?
I'm gonna tell you, every bank regardless of how they list it, has a fee if you do not manage your money. So we have a way that you can avoid the overdraft fee, but it's not impossible. So I always tell you, nothing's impossible. If you are not managing your money and you say to a bank, I'm going to allow you the freedom to manage it for me, that may come with some additional fees. That's just how it works. And so why I say that is, I've banked at Bank of America for years. I worked there for years too. And at Bank of America, they do different types of posting. So some of you may have accounts that at the end of the night, everything posts out of your bank account. So you may have all 10 things come out right now, and you may not have enough money, and now you have 10 overdraft fees. That's really how it works, where the posting happens at the end of the day. I work at a bank where we post all day. So things are moving all day. Your balance is moving. You can check your bank balance in the morning, and it may be different in the afternoon. It may be different in the evening.
That's
because
good.
it's posting as things come in. That is a better way. And I'll tell you, my own self, don't forget, now, I'm gonna just keep it 1,000. I was an executive at Bank of America. I was overdrawn pretty much every week, every other week, because I didn't manage my funds, because I thought I was balling. You know, I was balling. I was having a good time. We was turning up. And so when you balling, you don't pay attention to your money, right? So I was paying Bank of America. When I really sat down and thought about it, I was paying on average, y'all, close to $3,000 a year for just them managing my little funds, just in the $35 fee here, there, whoop, that little overdraft fee, this monthly maintenance fee, all those different fees. And y'all, I could buy a lot of shoes with those fees. So it's important that you manage your money yourself, because if not, a bank will do it for you. But I do offer free accounts where if you decide to bank with BBVA, especially right now, I have a promotion going on from now until this Tuesday coming up, the 30th, where if you open up a bank account with us, there is no monthly maintenance fee. And the only reason of that is because of our partnership with On the Road Lending. So because of our partnership with them and Big Thought, you can have a completely free account. If you set up direct deposit, there's a $200 incentive for you bringing that direct deposit to BBVA. So please reach out to me if you have any interest or questions in those. I have a face shield, a mask, sanitizer, gloves, disposable pens, and papers, and can open that account for you in a Starbucks parking lot through the window where it slides out just like this. So it will happen within a matter of 5 minutes if that's something that you need. And I'm also going to piggyback a savings account that if you can open up a savings account and put $500 in it by the end of August, $500, that's going to help you towards your On the Road lending card. That's going to help you towards your own goal. $500 just needs to be in that account, and I'm going to give you an additional $50. I'm sorry, 25. Let me back down because I don't, y'all think I'm playing. So 25. $225 for starting an account with us.
Wow.
That sounds good, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Awesome. That's great incentive too. Wow. I see Vincent has shown back up. So Vincent, does that mean we used up our 2 minutes, or is it time to open it up for questions? Or
I was going to give y'all 2 minutes now if y'all have any last remarks between the two of y'all, and then we can open it up for questions. You guys can come on screen if y'all want and ask questions directly to Lucretia or Monique, or type them in the chat as well, and I can read out those questions out loud.
okay, I know one thing I did not cover, and that was the interest rate that we charge. Our interest rate for everybody across the board is non-negotiable, is 9.75. And if you have a score of 525, Monique, can you be my witness that you will not have an interest rate of 9.75?
Oh, no. No.
And you know what? Someone asked the question, are we competitors? We are not competitors. We're working together. We're
partners.
Yeah, we're partners. We're On the Road Lending is your first step. And we're hoping, we're not trying to hold on, oh, you my client, you my client. No, no, no. We look forward to our clients growing their score, raising their scores up so they can move on to someone who would give them an interest rate of 3.75. You know what I'm saying? That is awesome. We want you to have less than 9.75. So if you can go to Monique or any other bank or credit union and get a lower score, that is it. And we serve everybody. We serve veterans, we serve people who are victims of sex trafficking, we serve mothers, fathers, anyone that's 18 or older, we serve. It does not matter. What about
And
you?
you know what? I'll piggyback on that we actually serve the community. I'll tell you, in the area that I'm in the West Texas area. So in that West Texas area, BBVA actually has a footprint in Arizona, Colorado, Florida, New Mexico, California, and did I say Florida? I think I said Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a footprint in those areas. If there's another state that you're in, there are some other bank recommendations that I can give you as well. Again, I definitely do not want you to think that we have any type of competitiveness. This is we call this an encouragement session, again, a partnership, because we all want to make sure that you guys are understanding and benefiting from these calls and making sure that you're able to go and do things that you need to do. One of the things that I love that Lucretia touched on was sometimes your income may not be where you want it to be, or you may only be making $1,500 or $2,000 a month, or whatever it is that you're making. If that is the case, then all I'm going to tell you is stay encouraged to go get the job that you deserve. That's very important. That you feel that you're not making the income that you need to make, it's on you to build and determine your own success. It's on you to go get more. So if there's something that you want, she said, if you want a yellow Camaro, you need to, think about that. If you don't have the money, then guys, you need to put the same effort into going and looking for that career opportunity for you that's going to elevate you in life. That's really what it's about. Do what's best for you, not for your employer, not for anybody else, for you and your family. So if that may mean you need to go and do something else, you may need to do so. So I know we have some questions. Vincent, am I okay to go through the chat box and look at those questions?
Well, while you're looking, let me just say, as far as locations, we are in Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia right now. And so we're looking to move into the Northeast as well. I mean, not Northeast, in the Eastern states. So we'll be doing that coming up next year. But right now, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia is where we are. So go ahead with the next question. Okay, so I'll ask you this question. How old do you need to be? You said 18 already in order to get a account or a loan with you guys. And I know it's 18 for us as well at BBVA. You need to be 18 years or older in order to get any type of account or loan. Another question I see on here, and we already answered the states. What if I have no credit? Where should I start to get a loan? So I'm gonna let you go with that one first, Lucretia. If you have no credit, you're perfect for us because we can help you build that credit through personal car ownership. That's why we don't look at your credit score. If there's no credit, we're going to report it to help you start building credit, okay? We'll report to Experian and Equifax. So it does not matter what your credit score is. We don't care. I have people call me all the time. Well, I know my credit is not that good. So I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm not looking at your score. I just want to make sure that there are three things not happening: that you're not involved in an open bankruptcy, that you're not defaulting on student loans, and you're not defaulting on child support. If those three things are not you, we can talk. We can have a conversation. And for us, so our stipulations are we're heavily ran by a point system, a lot of checkpoint systems. So there's going to be different things that we look for, but I'll tell you overall, in order to even know where you stand with your credit, you need to check first. So there are websites that you can go to on your own, annualfreecreditreport.com, and you're able to pull your own credit report to see where you're at. Sometimes you may have to pay a small fee to see your scores. You can download apps like Experian Boost. You can also see a credit counselor, somebody reputable. Don't just run to the first credit repair person you meet. Please ask questions. If you want to ask me, but I'm going to make sure I make a recommendation to you for people that can really help you, because the goal is to really build your credit, not put you with other credit sharks that are going to use your credit for other things. So the first thing you got to do is you have to know what your score is and where you stand. And a lot of times when you do that assumptive
thing where you say, I think my credit score, or I know my credit score, then what you do is you tell yourself no. So you don't let the bank tell you no. You don't let the lender tell you no. On the Road hasn't told you no. BBVA hasn't told you no. Your experience that you saw your mom go through told you no. Or you saw that your dad got declined for a loan, so they're not going to give me a loan. But if you don't ask to know what you need to do to really start, that's going to be the first problem you have. So I would say look for some type of counseling, credit counseling, financial literacy courses that I know we're going to be having together as a group, as a partnership. Because again, there's no point in competing because there's so much market out here. And if you can tell by how the credit system and the unemployment numbers have been rolling in America right now, y'all need our. So there's no need to compete. We're going to be here to make sure we all get on the same good foot and keep it moving.
That's
so
exactly right.
The things I would tell you is to make sure you build your history somewhere. Make sure that you open an account, open a bank account. That's what she's talking about when she says you need to have an account. Open those accounts and start a savings account. If you don't think you can save, the key to savings is 10% of what you make should be put up, 10%. If you can do math, 10% is not that much. And if you can't do 10%, then all I'm gonna tell you is go down to 5. Start somewhere. If you can start somewhere, that's baby steps to excitement that you can do it. My last little funny thing I'll tell you, because I'm funny, I'm like a little part-time comedian too, I know. But my husband and I make a joke all the time. We can't stop saving this same $100. It just never fails, y'all. We can save so much money. We got 2 kids graduating on Monday, okay? 2 at the same time, 2. Wow. One going to college, one working, one needed a car. So just in cars alone, in cash, we spent $6,000 just in repairs and everything.
Eesh.
But you know what I'm proud of? We had it.
Yes.
We saved it.
Yes.
We did it. We planned it because we knew we had 2 kids graduating at the same time. So if you got a senior coming up next year that you know you want to be able to buy them a car, you need to start right now, because that's where we actually thought about it, we saved it, and it worked.
Awesome. And that's the key. That's the key to budgeting, is saving. That has to be a part of your budget. We've got some more questions that says, what are your thoughts on co-signers? And because dealerships always say I need one. On the Road Lending looks at household income. So let's say there are 2 people in the household and together they make $1,500 or more. We don't have a problem with that as long as they don't have a problem with that. As long as they both can qualify for the loan as far as the income is concerned and everything else checks out as far as employment, and we can prove these things, is perfectly fine. I think I lost Monique. I think her internet went acting up. But we don't have a problem with co-signers. Dealers want you to have a co-signer so they can charge you more down, but you're still gonna have a higher interest. Typically, I don't really agree with, when going traditional, I don't really agree with being a co-signer. Personally, my son has asked me several times, Mama, will you co-sign for me? No, because I know how that works. But with on the road lending, it is not a negative, situation. And right now we have a 97% success rate. So it is working for us. People appreciate being given a second chance because they know that we're not out to get them. We're not trying to snatch back the vehicle the first time they're late. We actually work with our clients. We want them to stay in the vehicle. Someone asked the question, what if I get unemployment at the moment, but I hope to have income coming in about 2 months? Will I qualify for a car? The only thing is that that's a lot of ifs, okay? And what we do is we want to look out for our clients. We're not gonna put you in a situation that could have the potential to fail. So we're gonna ask you, if the only income you have right now is your unemployment, we're gonna ask that you wait until you actually have solid income that we know, hopefully you're not gonna lose the job, because unemployment will run out at some point. So what if you don't get a job in 2 months? where's the car note gonna come from? And you know what I'm saying? That's just too iffy. So we're not gonna ever put you in a situation to where the outcome may not be bad, may be bad. Okay, we're not gonna put you in a situation where, oh well, we know 6 months from now we're gonna get this car back. We don't want the car back, boo. We don't have a car lot. So we don't want to ever put anyone in that situation to where they will potentially
learn to understand.
Okay, and hopefully that answers that person's question, because we want to be sure that they can afford it. Any more questions? Any comments?
I made it back.
I see. I you had already told us Zoom and you had a little tussle, but I see you won. So
Nobody will win this. I was coming right back.
that's okay. I knew what had happened, so I just kept it rolling. So will the bank give someone a car if they're on unemployment?
Yes, we will, because unemployment for us counts as income.
I mean,
So,
because all they have is unemployment.
Unemployment counts as income for us.
Okay.
So that's going to be up to the underwriter because unemployment is a right now thing. A lot of times we're looking at your overall scope, so your holistic view of that year. So maybe you were working at the beginning of the year. Maybe you were like myself and you just lost your job because maybe the company went out of business. So certain things like that, your income may not have that large of a gap. If you're on unemployment, you should be looking for work because the goal of unemployment is to help you get back to work, right? So if you are looking for work, we still can look at those things, but again, we're looking at that holistic view, and that's why history also comes into play. So you want to establish a relationship somewhere with some type of bank, financial institution, credit union, or something. But for us, we can look at unemployment as an overall income because it is something that you're going to be using to pay your bills.
Right.
That was a good question.
Yeah, it was. Anybody else? No more questions?
Miss Y Green, thank you so much. Thanks for the compliments earlier too. We are so glad that we were able to come on and answer questions. I know it was kind of quick. I know it was a lot of information at once. That's why, again, if you need any type of personal development or any type of sessions or again, any questions you may need to ask, I shared my information up earlier in the chat. I also have a web link that I shared that directs you to me that you can go in and place your information that you'd like me to call you back at. So it will send an email to me from a contact page. So I'm just so thankful that we had the opportunity. Vincent, thank you guys from Big Thought for us being able to come on. And Shaylin, thank you so much again for having us come on too. I just appreciate the opportunity to work with both organizations because, again, the goal is we grow as a community and we grow forward. So if you have any questions, please make sure you're asking us. We're here to support you and help you. And I pray this is not the last time we see each other. I know I didn't see all your faces, but next time I will see you.
It won't be. I just want to say that we do plan on having some sessions with Monique, where she's going to break it down even more. She's a great, as you can tell, she's a great communicator. And so she has so much more to tell. I'm so glad, Monique, that just like me, you held it in, girl. So we just got the details out. Thank you, Vincent, for inviting us in. We will be back. Or did you want to make that announcement that we'll be back next week with On the Road Lending? And we're going to talk about buying a car, how to buy the car. When should I buy a car? Should I sell this car? We're going to talk about those things, tips on car buying. We're going to give out all that information, and we're going to have some more staff from On the Road Lending here talking with some other organizations. So we're going to share, we're going to follow up with On the Road Lending and BBVA. We're going to share this opportunity with others. So we're going to post this as well on our website and wherever, Facebook or whatever, so you guys can see that. But just one more note to wrap up is that people with low scores, they make great clients, and that's what we have found. They make great car owners because people just appreciate another opportunity. So that's what we are about. We are about creating opportunities of personal car ownership. Because you know what? Your credit report does not reflect who you really are. It's black and
That's right.
And there's a lot of gray in all of our lives. So I just want to encourage everybody to seek us out on theroadlending.org and seek out Monique if you need a bank account or go to the bank closest to you to get started. Car ownership is possible for all who have the income to be able to afford it. All right? Thank you, guys.
Well,
Vincent,
thank
again,
you. Thank you,
appreciate the
Monique. Thank you,
opportunity.
Lucretia. And like Lucretia said, next week will be part 3, our final part in our virtual workshop series in partnership with On the Road Lending and Big Thought. So thank you all for tuning in. And
Thank you,
this
Monique.
session will also be shared on Big Thought's website after, and Lucretia will be able to share with On the Road and their website as well.
Awesome.
We appreciate you
everybody.
guys. Have
Yes.
a good one.
Thanks.
you all.
Good night.